That's what IMRAD is. Introduction, methodology, results, and discussion. So that kind of takes care of all of these things up here, the first step. So look at the articles, compare them. Do they look similar? Look at the abstract, the methodology section, the results section, right? Are they presented? How are they presented similarly or differently? Looking at the length, the graphics or images, things like that. And then how do you account for the difference or lack of difference? And again, this is just you speculating, guessing, I suppose, on the differences here. So that's the first part of your critique, is comparing those. So if I look at, let's see if I can bring these up. What in the world was that? Barbie. Oh, my daughter's been on my computer. Barbie Girls Digital Kit. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, it was my daughter. That was not me. I swear. Okay. So already we can see these two articles. This one, the one on the left, is from 1990. The one on the right is 20 years later, 2010. I mean, looking at the format, the layout of it, I mean, you see differences already. Here's the abstract right here, and the 1991. It's kind of in a darker print. It looks like it's in a different typeface. It's in a sans serif typeface. But here, the abstract, it seems a little more formally presented in a way, or more visually. You've got the abstract is divided up almost into the IMRAD organizational pattern. But we have 1, 2, 3 kind of thick paragraphs from the 1991, but in the 2010 one, looks like shorter paragraphs, except for the results section. Shorter paragraphs right here. Looks like a little more information about the authors over here than in the 1991. And yeah, you can certainly compare the typefaces also. Definitely different typefaces going on. So already the first page you can do some comparison of the two different abstracts, at least. And then from there, right, you can look into the sections. So into the IMRAD, if that's what they use. So there is some kind of introduction. They do have a method section, the method section here, and you can see that they're presented differently. They have a different typeface. This one on the right might look a little more clearer than the other one. There we go. I have the same size right now. But you know, as you read through the articles, you can see that there are different headers being used. Baseline data, types of providers, sampling procedures, data collection indicators. Design might be kind of the same thing there. Randomization, results, statistical analysis. Okay. Let's see. So there's a graphic there. Let me see. There's a graphic over here. Oh, okay. All right. So let's compare Figure 1 here to Table 1. You see more use of colors, right? The Table 1 has a title up here at the top, but here we now use captions. So you can see that there, instead of a title of the table up here at the top, you can see the caption down here at the bottom. So that's really interesting. The difference there. So they have a results section there, results section. All right. Any other visuals? Okay. Oh yeah, here we can compare tables. Compare a table to a table. Table 1 got the title. All right. Looks like it kind of. There does seem to be a little more white space. The table does seem bigger in this one. A lot more white space. What Williams-Zinsser calls air. A lot more air around that one. And then let's jump on down. And this is just me just looking at colors. Look, even more colors. That's probably a big one. They both have a discussion section, it seems. And let's see how they do their references. Okay. They number them. Okay, so they're numbered the same, but here we have an ABC column. Here they're sticking to just the AB column. So that's interesting also. Alright, so a few things that we could probably talk about: the differences in columns, the use of color. The MRAD looks about the same. The graphics are a little bit different. How the abstract is presented is different, but they still use the AB, the two columns. There's column A on the left, column B on the right. Okay, alright. Alright, so then the next thing then, where are we at? Here we go. Alright. So the next thing then is to, and I won't go into detail on this next section because you did some work with this last week, is to talk about the writing itself. How would you describe writing? So, you know, I could, let's say I'm really interested in, you know, the methodology section for whatever reason. So I can find the methods section in each one, and pick the first couple of paragraphs. So there's the results. Pick the first couple of paragraphs. Oh, there it is. From well, here's a passage here. Study design. I can read that and then compare it to maybe the first paragraph of methods here. And there are some things that I want you to be looking out for. Just comparing those two side by side. The use of jargon. What kind of voice is being used? Is the language specific? Would you say that the text is more or less accessible, you know, understandable? Could you find information easier in one than the other? Let's see, jargon. Sentence level features. So compare sentence length. Compare the use of person. Are they using past tense or present tense? Are they using a lot of nominalizations? Are they using a lot of modifiers? All these things that we talked about last week. How would you describe the prose, and what purpose do you think that it serves? So I won't go into much detail, but so your first paragraph, or two paragraphs, however you want to do this, in your critique will be about the overall formatting and organization. The second part is about the language that's being used. And then the third part is I want you to start to just draw some general conclusions about what you think. Comparing 1990 to 2010, for example, how would I characterize how the language of medicine or the language of nursing, how has that changed? How is it growing? How is it changing? In what ways is it staying the same? Would I say that it's declining? Probably not medicine, but there might be some others that might be declining. Can you see like a difference in research agendas? Maybe you go back and look at the table of contents in that journal issue. You can see if there's a difference in agendas. I think both the ones I just looked at had something to do with cancer, so research agenda seems to be kind of the same. Let's see. So again, whatever claims you're going to be making, whatever characterizations you're making, make sure that you can support that with maybe you can find quotes or something like that. Just specific support telling me how you come to these conclusions. Let's see. And so I'm asking you to do all of this in a memo format, a memorandum format. If you're not familiar with a memorandum format, I'll give you a couple of things to look at, but I'll give you this English.purdue.edu. There we go. Memo. There we go. I'll just copy this in there. And maybe that'll help you out. But I'll give you a couple of things. Basically, what a memo is. Well, it's not a memo. It's I want you to use the memo format. And so, one of the things about the memo format, as I think I mentioned right here, is a memo format is single spaced.